Alright YouTube, so grab your cameras and I hope you charge the batteries on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. This is tutorial number 3 and today we're going to dive into my favorite section, which is the file operation. And people are like, well, what are you excited about file operation? Well, this is where all the magic really happens in the camera, and it allows you to be able to, how do you see things, how do you delete things, how do you create new things from other photos that you've taken and things like that. So it's kind of exciting. So let's get into section 3, file operation. We're going to go to page 1 right now and get into it without wasting too much time here. And then this one here, it's got the file operation down, where we're talking about protect the images, erase, rotate, stills, and things like that. So get to that. It's the third menu system after the AF system, which is the blue one. It looks like a little play button. That's where we want to go. And a lot of playback functions are also mentioned here. So pay attention here. A lot of cool things here. And my favorite new feature, which is in-camera upscaling. We're going to do one together so you can actually see how it actually works and create 100 and almost 180 megapixel file out of one of the pictures that has been taken here. So that's coming on, I think, page 2, but let's go through page 1 first. So page 1, protect images. When you come in here, you can actually pick one image like that, right? Or if you hit menu again, you can come back here. You can select a range of images if you like, right? Pretty simple. You can select all images that are in a particular folder. You can unprotect all images in a folder, that's what it is right now. I'm not going to do it. That's what it is. So all images on a card, which means every single folder, not just one folder. And you can unprotect all images on the card itself. What that means is every folder becomes unprotected. So if you shoot a wedding and you want to protect a folder so no one can accidentally delete it, it's usually a good idea to actually come in here and all images in a folder, pick the folder you want and secure it, right? So you can lock it down. So if I were to do this and then come here, protect all images in this folder, if I hit OK now, you can't delete those, right, until you take that lock off. That's how that works. All right, so those are the selections here. Pretty simple. Watch this again if you want to. I'm not gonna, drain this menu system here. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, and if you're still confused, you can always download the PDF manual. You don't really need to. You should be able to follow this based on what's written on the screen. So. Alright, next one, same thing with the erase. Select and erase images. You can pick the ones you want to actually erase. If you hit the trash can here, it'll select it, it'll erase the photo. You can select the range, just like before. Just like how you protect, you can select and get rid of a lot of photos together. Images in a folder, you can get rid of all the images in a folder. You can get rid of all of the images on the card itself. But look at what it says, except, like, got a little lock over there, images that are locked. It'll delete every image except for the ones that are locked. So if there are some images you don't want to get rid of, protect them before you actually do this feature. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Number 3, rotate stills. What this does is it allows you to rotate. So if you want to actually change it, you got to hit the set button, which is in the middle of the control wheel. You should know that by now, and you can actually rotate the images. Keep pressing it and it'll keep on rotating like this to however you like it. You can do that, right? Change here, right here. I'll do it again. Watch what it does. So rotation information, right? To be changed, let me bring it up, will be displayed sideways up for our first smartphone. When you're trying to record video or photos for a cell phone, it will take your videos and actually rotate them. You can see what it's doing on the screen as I press. This will make it more vertical right here. this will make it more horizontal. So that's what that's doing. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the same time while I'm doing this. So you can change how you actually rotate a movie. Ratings, this was something that we talked about briefly. You can actually rate your photos. So if you come back here and you start looking at any of these pictures, whatever it is, like for example this, and you really want to rate it, you can hit the star button, right? If you hit star, oops, I didn't do that right. Select images, so I got to select images here. Yep. So you can do side by side, you can jump, you can do all of that right in here and select the images you want. And if you look up top, you can see for 1 star you see 0, 2 stars, and then 3, 4, 5, and you can just toggle between them just like this. Like you can see what's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I just did by pressing it in, or you can turn it off. Okay, so, and you can also select the range. You can select the range of pictures and rate them all 5. Right now it's actually just playing back some of the movies, videos. All images in a folder, you can do that too, same thing. I'm going to change the folder back to the picture setting. It moved to the video folder because I told it to rotate the videos. That's why that became prominent. So now we're in this, so now we should be able to see it. Or all images on the card, you can rate them. If you like all of them and you all only shoot bangers and all, you know, number 5 type of things, and you can just do that to all of them. Image copy, you need a second card in here. If I had a SD card in here, I could actually copy from one card to the other. If you put a card in here, which I do not have handy, I should have had this in here. But trust me, once you do that, it's pretty simple. It'll just ask you which images you want, and you can just move it to the SD card. Print order, if you want it to actually print, you can select an image, you can do multiple, and you can do a setup, and you can actually come in here and figure out what kind of printing that you actually want to do with this. So there's that. All right, that is page 1 for you. Page 2. On page 2, we start with some of the things that I talked about in the beginning of the video. Raw processing. What is this? If you do not have a computer, an iPad or whatever to actually edit your images, and you want to shoot raw and be able to process it in the camera, you can do that. You can just select an image. Come on in here, let's say we use this, it's a raw image, we can do that. And then if you want to actually edit the image, if you look on the bottom, let me see here, you hit the set button or the menu button. So if I hit the set button, we come on in here, and then it gives you the option to the queue. When you go to queue, you can use the shot settings. You can set up processing as a JPEG or a HEIF. So let's just use the shot settings, and it will actually create another file if I really want to. I'm going to hit cancel for a second, come back here, and actually get into sort of, see if I can actually play with this. Hang on one second. Come over here and go into menu, select images. Okay, all right. And then you can actually process. Okay, so here we go. Ready? So we're going to hit the set button, and once you hit the set button, you get the queue. If you hit the info button, you can actually see all of the details like this about the shot. You can scroll down with the joystick, and you can see everything there is to know about the shot, how it was shot, sharpness, color, contrast, all of that is in here. It retains all of that information in here, right? So if I come back here, select images, and then actually get out of this, right? There we go. And then before we get into this part, let's go to hit cancel. We are, you know what, I don't think it's going to let me process because I'm actually pushing it out of the HDMI, but I'm going to try. So let's see if I can actually create the file. So hit set, hit Q. This is the zoom in button. If I hit Q, I can use the shot settings, which means however it's actually shot, I'm good to go with it. And it would create another raw file. You can save it as a JPEG or a HEIF if you want to do. HEIF is 10-bit, JPEG is 8-bit. Let's just go to JPEG for a second. When you come in here, it's going to start allowing you to process. So you can come in here and you can start adjusting the brightness, like you'll see. You can actually edit this. It is working. It's letting me do it. I'm just going to fool with it a little bit. You can even change the white balance because we shot raw. You can change the picture style. It should start to show up there. I'm not sure if it's showing the difference. I think I have to hit on it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's accepted it. Clarity, if I want to actually increase the clarity or decrease the clarity, you can actually see what it's doing. If just look at the branch in the middle, you'll actually see it go up. Yeah, it just went up, the clarity. I'll just go to max for a second. Auto lighting optimizer, like I said, I always usually leave it off, but you can come in here and you can change it, and you can see it actually altering the image up top. Or you could just go to standard. Some people just leave it here. You could do that. You're actually editing the raw file right now. We're good there. Let's go ahead and move up to noise reduction. Do you want noise reduction on or off? And then you can pick. You can leave it to low. Let's just use low. This one is shot at ISO 6400, so I'll go low. Pick how big of a JPEG you want to create out of this, large. Color space sRGB, which we talked about in the previous one. Lens correction, lens aberration correction. So all of the issues with the lenses and all the profiles are already loaded in here since you're using Canon lenses to shoot this, so you should be fine. If you're using third party, this might not be quite as accurate, but if you use Canon, you should be good. Hit save. Come here, save it as a new file. Bada bing, bada boom. Processing complete. Do you want to continue to image processing? Yes or no? Yes, so I can come back here and pick another one now, a different file, and edit that. So that file that we just created is right there. That's the edited JPEG that we just created out of there. So that's how you do that. Now comes the fun part. When you come to in-camera upscaling, this allows you to take, you gotta have shot RAW plus JPEG or JPEG for this to work. It needs the JPEG file to actually upscale for now. I wouldn't be shocked if in the future iterations Canon allows you to do it with a RAW file. If they do, that would be freaking insane, but it's gonna require tons of processing, so make sure you have enough battery before you start fooling with this. You select an image, so let's come on in here to where we have a JPEG. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of this for a second, and I'll teach you a little shortcut here how to do this. Go to just viewing the photos, just like that. So what you want to do is you want to find an image. If you look at the bottom right, you'll see RAW plus JPEG. Find an image where you shot RAW plus JPEG. So let's say I picked this one, right? You see the little bird right in the middle there, right there, that guy, right? And we're gonna actually upscale this guy. So we're gonna come back into the menu, upscale, select image, and it should be that image because that was your last image that you were on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the set button, and now it's gonna say, hey, what do you want to do? You want to hit Q again, similar to the raw processing, which is Q. And then it's going to say, do you want to save it as a new file? I'm going to hit cancel for one more second. If you look here, before I do this, I'll do it in a second, but I want you to look on the top left. The little check mark has to be selected before you actually hit OK here on the Q. Because if it's not selected, it's not going to upscale. So you go here, save a new file. It's creating almost a 179 megapixel file out of that file right now. If you were to upscale on a computer, it would take you much longer. Plus, you wouldn't get all of the lens corrections and all of the different things. So no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to continue doing another one. Now it's asking me a question. Hey, you want to look at the original image or you want to look at the processed image? Let's look at the processed image, the new one, with 177 megapixel. Guess what's on the bottom right now? JPEG, and it's got a little ladder type of sign thing over there. That means, there you go. That means that is an upscaled image. Now when I zoom in, just by hitting the hourglass or the zoom function, you can see how much more it zooms in. How do I know this? Watch this. When I hit info, you can see for one, let me see if it shows me the dimensions of the file. Was I already there? Okay, yeah. So what you can see is that's a 40 megabyte JPEG that it actually created, right? And it's not letting me toggle. Come on, stop doing that. Sometimes it's easier if I show it to you in person, but this is the new file that we created right here. Right, this is the actual new file that we actually created. If I zoom all the way out, you can see how little the bird is. Now look at how big it is. Right? Let me go back here and see if I can find that photo. Give me one sec. I'm gonna find that photo or something similar that was there from that group, which is like right here. And then when I zoom in, you can see what's happening here. And then if I look at the info here, if you look on the bottom right, it's almost 55 megabytes, which is the raw file, right? So what we have done now is we have actually created a new file out of the other. So we zoom back. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to actually go ahead and zoom back out. Sorry guys, this is actually not easy to do while you're actually capturing. So bear with me. I'm actually going all the way through again to the end because I cannot access my screen, which is this image. This is what we actually did. Okay, that's the image that we upscaled. Okay, here's the image. I'm going to zoom in enough for you so you can actually see now. That's the upscaled image. And I'm not sure how well it shows up on the screen, but you get the idea. You can actually zoom in, and it doesn't fall apart. I mean, I'm like all the way in now. That's probably like 600-700% in. And this is the JPEG. So that's the JPEG, and let's just validate. We're gonna go back here. Cancel. Yep, it's the 40 megabyte JPEG. So that is the new one. Okay, perfect. So I am showing you the right thing. So that's how you sort of upscale. All right, resize. This is if you want to go in there and actually start cropping. You can't crop this image. Some images you can. Right here, it has to be shot raw. Once you shoot it raw, then you can tell it you want a medium raw, small, S1 raw, or S2. So you can make it smaller raw, and you can do that. Cropping, same deal. You can come in here and then you can start cropping in here. Straighten the image, you can crop it, you can do whatever you want, change the aspect ratio. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you want to do all this editing in the camera. HEIF to JPEG conversion. So if you would have shot HEIF, and if you turn on this mode, you have to come all the way back here that we talked about in the previous chapter. If you look through here, there is a mode here that we actually turn on, which is like a HDR high definition mode, which actually, that's not it. That will allow you to turn this guy on and start shooting HEIF. If you pick HEIF back here, oh, here it is. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Right here. Once you decide that you want to shoot HEIF here, and you're shooting HEIF on the camera and not shooting JPEGs, then what's going to happen is when you come over here, I did not shoot any HEIF, so I can't do it. It will go look for HEIF images on the card and show you all of them for you, and then convert them to JPEG so you can actually use them. I didn't shoot it, so that's why you're not seeing any, but I just wanted to show you, like, when you set the, you know, the total, how big you want the file to be, you can pick between JPEG and HEIF there. Slideshow, if you want to, you know, start from all images, you want to do that, or you want to, whatever, you know, it'll continue to do this, and it'll start to load images and actually do a slideshow for you of what's there. This is just a video that I shot with this thing, so you can see. It's kind of cool. VR preview, this is for virtual reality stuff. If you have the, you know, the Apple Vision and things like that, you can actually shoot VR with this stuff. You can pick and choose how you want to actually search your images, right? By star, by, you know, different things, by folder, the ones that are protected, the type of file. You can pick whatever you want, so you can customize your search. That's what that is. View from last scene, I like this enabled because every time I actually hit the view button or the playback button, it goes back to the last image. Magnification, I always leave this to 2x. Sometimes I will change it to actual size, which means it will show you the actual size down to the pixel, and it looks massive on the screen. 2x looks pretty good because that's about 200%. It shows you whether something's in focus. Magnifies, and where do you want it to magnify from the focus point is what I usually have set to, or you can always do center. Focus point, it works out better for me. Maintain the position, yeah, you can turn this on, but I usually leave this disabled and just go to actual size when I do that, and then do from focus point. It nails it. You don't really need to turn this last one on. If you're not going to use it from the actual point, then you probably want to enable this, and it'll try to maintain that for you, the position of where it actually does it from. All right, last one here. This is a very cool feature that no other cameras have had before other than the R1 and this one. What we have to do is you go on here. It's the blur out of focus image detection. This is insane. It actually, you know, you can turn the icon on. It will give you a indication in the viewfinder that your photo is actually blurred, which means not because you drag the shutter and, you know, you're trying to do something artistically, the shot is no good. It actually knows that, and it will let you know that in there. So when you go to edit, you save a lot of time. So if you're shooting weddings and all kinds of different things, this is like a dream come true. So it saves you so much time in editing later. And you obviously wanted to show the frame of which one it is, and the detect level. How strong do you want this to be? Low, standard, high. Standard looks pretty good. If you're shooting something very low light, make it high, and then you'll be able to very easily see what's actually blurred out. Very cool feature, and this is a feature that no other brand has. So sorry, Nikon, Sony, Pentax, Olympus, you don't have this. This is the Canon first. Playback information only. You can actually come back in here and pick what you want, similar to what we did before in the playback menu too. You can check off the ones you want to keep, that you don't want to keep. I just leave them all on. I like to have the ability to see it all. Highlight alert. These are the ones where it will show you the little blinkies on a photo. So if you go here, you see the thing blinking there. That blinky is letting you know that that bird is actually overexposed. You can leave it on, leave it off. If you have highlight tone priority on, you usually don't need this, but you know, it's still a good idea to have it on just to be sure. AF point display, if you turn this on, it will show you exactly, if you go here to where the autofocus point was that was used to take the photo. You can see it right there, that little box popping up on the screen. That's how it knows. So there you go. You can see all of them. Alright, so that's what that is if you leave that on. I usually leave it disabled. Playback grid, if you want to do rule of thirds, 3x3, 6x4, 3x9, it will pop up the grid for you on the screen, which looks like that. You see the grid. I don't know if you see the grid. I do, but you should see a grid on there. I'll leave it off. This is for movies. Usually time code is if you want to sync up multiple different cameras. Record time is usually the way to go. Then that way all of the cameras sync up based on time. That's the syncing of that. Memo audio quality, that's when you actually hold down that rate button up on the top left and hold it down to actually record a memo. Hey, I'm shooting a picture of X, and I am at this wedding venue, whatever, this, that. If you want to just make a note of it, you can decide if you want a high quality or lower quality file. It will actually store that information along with the photo, so you have it. All right, with that concludes page 4 all the way through. So we have completed, my friends, the blue menus, and we did some pretty cool things here. And with the upscaling, sorry, it just it's hard to do and be able to show it, but nonetheless we got through it. Hopefully it helps, and let me know in the comments below if it was helpful. And part 4 should be following right after this one. And let's take a look really quick at what that section is. That's going to be our network section. So that one is not going to be too long, but yeah, it's got some cool stuff. So we'll actually go through that next. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you.